Hey everybody, what's up? You know, I thought I'd talk a little bit about WWE and what's going on. Um, I know, I talked about this previously, and um, you know, it, it doesn't surprise me whatsoever. I mean, I talked about first of all, I talked about why WWE is going with Cena and Big Show now because I guess in their minds, as I mentioned in the video before I did, that WWE feels as though that no matter how it's done or what storyline it involves around and all that, or it's centered around, that it's always going to put people in the seat because basically that's their answer to Hogan and Andre. If you think about it, they figure people will like to see that rivalry again, and there you go. I know that a lot of people have been critical about it, and I don't blame them. You know, I don't blame them for feeling critical about it. Like, oh, why do we have to go through this again? Um, but it's like I mentioned, you got to look at it from the WWE's perspective, and maybe they feel it's the best thing going right now for them when it comes to doing a feud or a rivalry for the summer. Um, that to me that is why they're doing it. And when you take a look at last night, I mean, I didn't watch Raw. That's as I mentioned in my video blog briefly, I didn't watch it for the third week in a row. So that kind of tells you where my attention span with it is right now. I mean, I love Raw. Don't get me wrong. I love Monday Night Raw. I love watching it. But to me, from what I understood, from what people have said, I mean, Simon Nicole HD has said, wrestling gurus have said it, Off the Rope Show has said it. They have all agreed that it just sucked last night, and the only few exceptions were Daniel Bryan and CM Punk and maybe Miz and Christian, and that was about it. It was more of an average of what you would call maybe a filler show. And that's hard to say for Raw, but that's what from what I've read, from the feeling I was getting, that's what it felt like to a lot of people. And you know, to me, I don't know what's going on. I mean, I don't know if they're doing what I talked about in that audio video. That's putting more focus right now in planning for the 3 hour Raws that are upcoming in less than 2 months. I don't know if they're putting more of the focus on that or what they're doing. Because to quote the Off the Rope show, they just phoned it in. They've been doing that for the past few weeks. And the only thing I can think of, honestly, folks, is the fact that, they don't have Brock Lesnar as much as they would like to have him. So, to me, I think WWE is just doing what they feel they can to kind of get people interested. You want to get people interested, that's fine, but, don't repeat the same stuff you've repeated before. As a matter of fact, it's like I think some of the people that I've mentioned, they said it themselves. It's like, you know, Big Show has done. It wasn't even that long ago, like 3 years ago or so, that Big Show did this, and now look, he's doing it again. It's like it doesn't make sense. The only thing I can think of as to why they're doing the storyline with Big Show and Cena, and why they add in the facts that Big Show's got this ironclad contract now, and he could do whatever he wants, whenever he wants, and so on. That this is basically the direction they wanted to go with Brock Lesnar. But because Brock's got a limited amount of dates and storyline wise, he quit. Big Show right now is their answer for the Brock Lesnar situation. And I mean that's the only thing I can think of. I mean, why else would they want to put Big Show in this situation when they could have done it with somebody else? Honestly, I mean, what to build him up as a massive giant again, as a monster heel again? Okay, fine, I get that. As a matter of fact, somebody mentioned, I think it was at what, Facebook or lordsofthepain.net. They said, you know what, if I think they said something like, I think it was Lords of the, I don't know, something like that. Or it was the PWI torch because I have the app on my iPod. One of the people at the PWI torch said, "Hey, look, if they would have added in something else like say, oh, Big Show got rehired and he's got an ironclad contract with a guaranteed WWE title shot in the near future, then hey, that would have made more sense. That would have made a little bit more sense. Yeah, it would have been a rehashing of certain things before, but it would have made more sense because at least he would have motivation as to why he was turning heel, as to why he was attacking people, as to he was um, why he turned on John Cena and stuff like that. It would be motivation, saying, "Hey, he's got a WWE title shot in the future." I mean, again, that makes more sense. It's not like, oh, I just turned because I was offered a contract and nobody gave me sympathy. I mean, come on, honestly, that's what it is. And then to start the situation with Brodus saying, "Oh, nobody gave me sympathy," it's like nobody cared about what happened to me because they just went to Brodus. They didn't want to, seize the moment. They didn't want to talk about it for a while. Blah blah blah. It's like, you know, it's like, okay, we get you what you're saying. You're upset that nobody took time to care about your situation. Okay, we get that. You don't have to say, oh, that's one of the reasons I turned heel. I mean, come on, honestly. And if this is just the beginnings to a Big Show Brodus feud, okay, then fine. Whatever. But, honestly, it would have made more sense if they would have had some kind of motivation behind it besides, oh, you guys didn't show me no sympathy. Now I do understand there are some people that like what's going on with Big Show. Some have even said the opening promo was great, and the the ending segment was good. It's going to be it's making you want to crave for more, and I get that. I understand that. I understand and I get that, but we had seen this before with Big Show going out and destroying people as a monster heel. We saw it when he was in when he did the ECW thing. I mean, come on, it's just a rehashing of before. And like I said, the only reason I can think of is right now is because they don't have Brock the way they want him. They don't have him on the schedule they would like to have him on, and because he's in this storyline situation with Hunter. That's the only reason I can think of. I mean, you had things going good for Big Show in his feud with Cody, and yet you do this? It doesn't make sense. I mean, another person that says, it would have made sense is if they would have came out and said, hey, it was all a ruse. Me going on my knees and crying and getting fired, all a ruse. It would have made more sense. But, I don't know. I mean, I'm just guessing, like I said in my video about it. I'm thinking, I'm thinking right now WWE just feels that, it's a rivalry that even though it's been done over and over again, it's a rivalry that could be refreshed with a different kind of angle and storyline and reasoning to it, and that's the only reason I think they're doing it. And also maybe because they don't got Brock right now. The only interesting tidbit is the board of directors are still involved in the whole John Laurinaitis storyline. I mean, CM Punk coming out and revealing the real cover for WWE 13 and saying that the board still got an eye on John Laurinaitis, it kind of tells you that John Laurinaitis ain't going to be around much longer. And here's why I say that. If the WWE wants to give fans the power in interaction with the whole 3-hour concept, then why would we need John Laurinaitis around? You see what I'm saying? I'm saying that if John Laurinaitis is still going to be around after the 3 hours, That's going to kill a 3 hour concept. Nobody's going to want to tune into 3 hours of him. So that's why I think before I'm just guessing. It's just a guess, folks. That before we hit the 1000th episode, that either on the 1000th episode or before then will be probably John Laurinaitis free. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but if it's going to be about the fans being more interactive and like what matches we see and who's in what matches and blah blah blah, I can only guess that that's what they're going to do. That's my only guess. You know, to me, I mean, I know they tried to do good with Raw last night. I mean, like I said, some people had a vestige interest in it. They enjoyed it at times. But the reason it wasn't as good as what many people could conceive isn't because the writers phoned it in like they've been doing, because obviously they did. It's because they just did a tour of Brazil. I mean, what else do you want it? What else do you want? And not to mention, they got to deal with the situation that controversial situation down there with Chris Jericho. It involved Jericho. I mean, come on. I mean, come on. What else do you want? What else do you need? It's like right now, WWE doesn't know what to do. It's like they're scrambling for certain situations and they don't know what to do. Hopefully they get their act together when they get this 3 hour deal going. That's all I could say. And I already gave my positives and my negatives on that. You can watch the video below this or here on my channel. You could see it there. But to me, WWE needs to get their act together before they do it, or else this whole 3 hour deal is going to blow up in their face. You know? And speaking of WWE, Daniel Parkin of the British Fist asked the question, should Daniel Bryan turn face? And right now, I don't know. I mean, they're trying to put him over as a heel, but he's kind of like a tweener heel. It's like, you boo him, you hate to love him, and you love to hate him. That's how he is. He's like Vicky Guerrero, maybe not as bad, but that's how he is. He's like the heel that you love to hate and you hate to love. But also you got to look at it this way. WWE does acknowledge, I mean, give them credit right now. They had the balls to at least acknowledge Daniel Bryan and CM Punk's rivalry in the past in ROH. Give them credit there. Give them credit there, but and maybe that's why they're not, doing what they should. I mean, SmackDown tapings, you could tell it's a little bit more edited. That the yes chants and the cheering at times is edited out, and canned heat and booing is put in there and everything. So, that's that's the only exception. But when it comes to live events, they can't do what they can't do what they did with Kurt Angle back in 2005. I remember watching Raw one night, and Angle did not want to come out unless the fans stopped saying he sucked and all that. And Bischoff comes up with the concept, oh, I'll just mute him out. You can't really do that. So I don't know. WWE's just got to let it go the way it is. Just let it develop and see what happens. I mean, honestly, right now, the only reason I don't think they're going to turn him face is because they already did as I mentioned in another video, the face to heel, heel to face scenario. They already did that already with Christian going to face and Big Show going to heel. And that's the only reason. And so I don't think they're going to be in a hurry to turn Daniel Bryan face just yet. They're just going to let it play out. And speaking of Big Show again, now he's doing what Brock Lesnar says. He's saying he's not an entertainer. He's a monster. He's a giant. He's like What's going on here? Are they going to do something in the future where John Laurinaitis or Paul Heyman, along with Lesnar and maybe Big Show, leads a group of guys to say, hey, we're not entertainers, we're competitors, we're wrestlers, we're ass kickers, to go against the WWE's entertainers? Is that what we're leading towards? I mean, if that's the case, then, oh, right, fine, we get it. But the last time they tried this was with ECW's Rebirth. And look how much that fared. Look how well that fared. But I guess they're gasping for straws. They're gasping for whatever they can get their hands on. And if, going the route of having someone like Big Show, and before Big Show, Lesnar, and then whoever else now in the near future saying, hey, we're not entertainers, we're competitors, we're fighters, we're ass kickers. If that's the direction they want to go, and have them go against John Cena and all the other guys that are like, hey, we are sports entertainers no matter what you say kind of deal, then so be it. If that's what it's going to lead towards, so be it. And maybe I'm looking too much into this. But it makes you wonder if perhaps, these dismal Raws we've been having. I said that maybe they're focusing too much on trying to make the 3-hour Raws, the first 3-hour Raw, officially good and memorable, and which is a good thing if they're doing that. But you don't throw Raw under the bus during it's still under its 2-hour concept, or 2-hour format. You don't throw it out under the bus, no. So it makes you wonder about one thing, and maybe I'm reading too much into this. It makes you wonder if maybe this whole situation is a storyline. Like, because I was thinking about this. I'm wondering, they come to Thousands Raw, you have the McMahons, maybe Vince or Stephanie come out and say, hey, we know you guys, we know you guys were critical about Raw over the past month or so, but guess what? That was a test, or that was to teach you guys a lesson of not spoiling shows that we put on, not spoiling our Raws before they air in other markets, not spoiling our SmackDowns, not spoiling our pay-per-views, teaching you guys a lesson to watch it as it happens. And again, maybe I'm reading too much into that, but it just makes me think, just makes me think. But again, maybe I'm reading too much into it. But, if this is the direction overall, though, WWE is going right now, with the whole, oh, we're not entertainer, with Laurinaitis, I guess, building some kind of stable of the now non-entertainers, the non-sports entertainers, to go against the WWE sports entertainers, and so be it. Again, we've seen this before. What's the big difference? What? Because it's 2012? Or is it maybe because WWE is starting to realize they need to do whatever they can to get this whole Laurinaitis storyline of him being in charge over? Because I think they're starting to realize nobody cares about the guy. It's like I mentioned, nobody cares about John Laurinaitis. They don't care about what he did in Japan. I mean, come on, honestly? I mean, heck, you have CM Punk, scripted or not, mocking him last night, saying, oh, what are you going to do? Put me in a handicap no DQ lumberjack match? I said, come on, dude. I mean, honestly, I don't know what WWE is thinking, but they better get their heads out of their asses before the 3 hours come up, because nobody's going to want to sit through 3 hours of Monday Night Raw if it's going to go through like this. Hopefully they do exactly what I said in my video, where I talked about the positives and the negatives. And again, you can watch that video down below, but hopefully they do something. I don't know what it's going to be, but hopefully they do something. And you know what? You got a whole roster full of people on NXT and in FCW that you could call up very soon and say, hey, we could do programs with this. We could do programs with these guys. We can put them into things. Hopefully you do something like that. I mean, right now in FCW, You know, it looks like they're going with a Cassius Ohno Antonio Cesaro feud, which, believe it or not, could probably end up on SmackDown, for all we know. So I don't know what WWE's doing, what direction they're going to go in right now. But like I said, it looks like it's going to be a stable of non-entertainers against sports entertainers. Just saying. It sounds like it's going to be Team Legitimacy against Team WWE. So I don't know. I mean, hopefully WWE gets their act together before July 23rd, because I do not want to have an early birthday gift of my first official recording of a 3-hour, my first recording of the official 3 hours of Raw on a permanent basis, as far as we know, being dismal. So hopefully they get their act together in the next month or next month and a half, or in the next month and a half or next month or so, because they're gonna need to. Because right now it's not working. I mean, TNA, and I didn't even watch Open Fight Night. I should have. TNA's doing a lot better than they are, and that's saying something. So let's hope they get their act together. Because right now, you got Off the Rope Show, you got the PWR Torch, you got the Pro Wrestling Report, you got Richard Gray of the Wrestling News World, you got Dave Meltzer, you got Wade Keller, you got the Wrestling Gurus, you got Dads on Wrestling, you got No DQ, you got Noah Adonis, you got Effing True Wrestling, you got all of them that are getting sick and tired of this bull crap WWE's been pulling for the past 3 weeks. If Raw's your flagship show, it should be treated as such. And that's all I'm going to say. Comment down below if you like. And tell me if you agree or not with what I said. And I'll talk to y'all later.